has over 20 people who want to win the nomination. It looks like there's going to be 1,000 more before we finally get to January. Biden is sitting on top of the heap with over 40% of the vote. What's your plan to make inroads in his number, and do you think you can catch up?
We're going to continue to travel to every part of this country, and in one town hall, one House party after another, engage with those voters who will decide these elections, but also listen to them to understand the true scope of these challenges and what the solutions to them are. So going to Iowa, for example, and being in a town like Pacific Junction, which was just flooded by the Missouri River, the greatest flooding we've seen since we've been keeping records on the Missouri River, meeting the Sargent brothers who have a farm outside of Pacific Junction. Those fields are now lakes right now. The urgency in that community around climate change and its impacts to their lives, these trade wars that this president has entered us into so that they can't sell those soybeans to China because of the reciprocal tariffs. I learned so much by being with them, by listening to them, by incorporating their stories into how I'm campaigning. So with months to go before the first caucus or the first primary, listening to people showing up everywhere. With 20 candidates, I mean, these elections might be decided in these various states by 1,000, 100, a dozen votes. So every single one of these conversations counts, and I'm going to continue to show up everywhere to ensure that we have them.
So over the weekend, you said that you would like to have Stacey Abrams in your administration. She doesn't want to be vice president. We know that. She's been here. We like her. She's lovely and smart.
Yeah.
But somebody, who else? One of the other running said they would have a woman on the ticket. Somebody else, not you. Would you have a woman on the ticket? Oh, Cory Booker.
Yeah. Couple things. On Stacey Abrams, I was responding to a question about all of these extraordinary women who are running for president right now, a point with which I couldn't agree more. But I also just wanted to make the point there are a number of women who aren't running, may run, including Stacey Abrams, who is a real hero to me. The grace with which she met that defeat on an unfair, unlevel playing field with the Secretary of State, perhaps rigging in part that election. Her focus on democracy reform, a new Voting Rights Act, ensuring that every single vote counts in this country is inspiring stuff at a time that our democracy is so badly broken. If I were fortunate enough to be the nominee, it's hard to imagine a scenario where I wouldn't be fortunate enough to also be able to run with one of these extraordinary women in our country, either a contender now for the nomination or someone who's not currently contending. Very important that our government looks like the people of this country, reflects the genius of America.
So you're, depending on the poll, you're between 5% and 2%, depending on the poll. And there's 22 people running. At what point, if you continue in single digits, do you say to yourself, okay, my best channeling of my energy and talent is to consolidate efforts and go back the front runner?
Last week, there was a poll released on CNN, and it had every single Democratic contender in a head-to-head matchup with Donald Trump. My margin of victory was 10% in that poll, greater than any other candidate running. So I just come back to there's a lot of time. Those polls will change. There are ups, there are going to be downs, and there are a lot of people to meet who should have the opportunity to ask questions of me, just as you are doing today, to make up their minds amidst an extraordinary field of experience, of skill, of talent, all of whom want to bring this talent to bear on not just defeating Donald Trump, but bringing this deeply divided country together. So if I'm not the nominee, to the spirit of your question, I will do everything in my power to get behind whoever she or he is to make them as successful as we possibly can.
Good.
So here's my question. So everybody comes and talks in big things. I want to know, how are you going to get people the little bit of money that they were able to have when they, wrote their taxes and they sent them in, and they would always get a little something back. People aren't getting anything back.
That's right.
What are you going to, how can you convince people that you are the person who knows how to fix the economy to where it works for them, not for up here necessarily, but right in this area? Because people need to have their little bit of ducats. They need their money. How are you going to get it back for them?
We're going to make sure that one job is enough. Right now, so many people work in 2 and 3 jobs. On average, in Texas, school teachers and public school educators have taken on a 2nd and a 3rd job because we're not paying them enough. So win that fight for $15 an hour. Ensure that there's paid family leave. Make childcare affordable. Extend education to preschool universally. Make sure healthcare is available as a right and not a function of luck. Ensure everyone can participate in a far more inclusive economy. That's the answer.